19th of June 2006, a man caused chaos at a pedestrian crossing near the seafront at Aberystwyth by throwing thousands of pounds of cash out of his car window and shouting, "Who wants free money?" Pedestrians scrabbled around desperately for it. They were asked later by the police to return it, who were gratified by the honesty of the people of the town, who did mostly. The story later got the headline, "Beyond Dreams of Aberystwyth," which is a pun based on the original Samuel Johnson quote, "Rich beyond dreams of avarice." That quote, strangely, is also the title of a biography of Hermann Goering, the high-ranking Nazi, who used his power to amass one of the largest personal art collections in Europe. Anyway, that's another story. In the late 1980s, I went to Aberystwyth to do a degree in English and drama. So began 3 of the most miserable years of my life. That's another story. This is not that story. Aberystwyth has many stories to tell, not all of them so miserable, or let's hope not anyway. This is my father's story. When I was at Aberystwyth, I had no idea that that was where my father had had a love affair 10 years before he met my mum, with a woman he abandoned, heartbroken and pregnant in 1951. What? Oh, I found this out, of course, a few days after he died. Soon I'll be a stranger in a strange new place, looking for an old familiar face. I belong in Aberystwyth. Life stories, family stories. Why do we tell them? What are they for? We base our whole lives, our whole identities on stories. Our parents' stories. Who they are, where they're from, why they are the way they are. This is my father's story. Or is it? He isn't the one telling it. He never said a word about this. He told very few, very vague stories about his early life. We never had a lot to do with his side of the family. And you fall for it, don't you? I never thought to think there was anything like this behind it. What if they're not telling the whole story? What if they're missing out a crucial part? The part that explains everything. This isn't the truth. How could it be? This is speculation and fantasy based on loose facts, loaded memories, wishful thinking and hearsay. This is poetry, autobiography, travelogue, family history, all pulled together by me, the least objective of all. This is myth-making, storytelling, soul-questing. Last year, I went on a journey. It was a journey gathering fragments, putting away of the past, following spirits. Spirits walk the earth, crossing many nations in pursuit of happiness. New stars. My dad left the UK a year after his first child, Jackie, was born. He never met her. He didn't return to the UK for 20 years when he came married to my mum, also British, who he met in Canada, and with a family, me, my brother and sister, all born in Toronto in the late 60s. When he first left, he went to the Far East. Go east for a new beginning, adventure and rebirth in exotic lands, which he loved. He lived there for 7 years. First Malaysia, or Malaya as it was then, and then Hong Kong, where, amongst other things, he had a bit part in the Orson Welles B movie, Ferry to Hong Kong. He did. Jackie was 7 when she saw it on its release in 1959 at Swiss Cottage Odeon with her mother and several other angry female relatives sitting at the screen. I was a bit older when I saw it, probably in the early 80s, someone in the family having found a copy of it in the bargain videos bin at Woolies. I'm going to show you. There he is. That's my dad.
I have the look, Mr. Conrad. Mr. Conrad, please.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Bring your passport, please. Your name is Conrad?
Yeah?
Your passport, please. What was your business in Hong Kong?
I used to have a sailing junk, coastal trading.
Used to have?
That's what I said.
Your entry to Hong Kong is not recorded here. Your passport is out of order.
But I have a visa for Macau.
The visa is not acceptable.
What's wrong with it?
The visa is not acceptable. It should never have been issued.
Wasn't that just fine?
Captain, we've received information from Hong Kong. This man is an undesirable alien.
Desirable is scarcely the word for it.
He will not be permitted to land.
Not land, that's very comical, not land. He must land.
There is no must about it, Captain.
Hong Kong, here I come.
I refuse. I absolutely refuse to have this person back on board my ship. No, I submit to your competent.
Do so. I am acting on his instructions.
You are acting, Inspector, like a damn fool.
Captain Hart, Hong Kong may have the money, but we in Macau have our pride. They are not going to deposit all their refuse on our doorstep. He is not going to land. And that is final.
I'll see you in jail for this.
Wasn't that fantastic? That's my dad. Was he dashing? Was he dastardly? Not bad, eh? And if you only ever did get 15 minutes of fame, to have had lines with Orson Welles. My daddy swam in the South China Sea, amongst junks and dreams and secrets. I went on a journey to faraway places, starting at Aberystwyth. The sea was blue that day, and green. It had been a long time since I'd been there, since I had walked its grey, west-facing seafront, lost in a fog of late adolescence, searching for myself under stones and at student societies. I lost part of my soul in Aberystwyth. I know, of all places, but it has been quite inconvenient. Before I went to university, I wanted so much. Underneath all the hesitation and confusion and paralysing longing for approval, there was a glimmering flame of desire, a glimpse of a sharp vision for an adult life filled with colour, orange and purple. Successful creative career, soulmate connections with people, partnership, family. A life fully engaged with arts, politics, books, culture, doing something meaningful, feeling whole and alive. The life I should have lived has haunted me like a ghost. I thought it would just unfold naturally in front of me, like putting one foot in front of the other. Only it didn't. Something happened in Aberystwyth. Part of me got stuck in 1987. Soul loss. So I suppose it was inevitable that at some point I would have to go back and get it. I have wondered, since I found out about my dad's time in Aberystwyth, if the bad time I had there wasn't something to do with karma. I mean, to leave a woman unmarried and pregnant in the early 1950s was a pretty evil thing to do. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. Swiftly go the years, one season following another, laden with happiness and tears. My father was Jewish. I've always been fascinated by that side of my family history. The whole immigration from Eastern Europe, the Fiddler on the Roof story. My mum wasn't, and we weren't brought up that way. My dad wasn't into that whole tradition thing. I think that may have been a reason that he couldn't marry his first girlfriend. He just couldn't marry a nice Jewish girl and settle into that whole thing. His first girlfriend, the one he left pregnant, Margie, the cousin of his brother's wife, who he met at their wedding. Bit close to home, eh? No wonder he ran away. Plus, he had high hopes. He was only 24, actor, trained at RADA, a movie star maybe one day. There was a whole world out there. He had dreams beyond Aberystwyth. Let's face it, who doesn't? Last year, I went on a journey to faraway places, starting at Aberystwyth. The sea was blue that day, and green. It was a journey gathering fragments, putting away of the past, following spirits. Spirits walk the earth, crossing many nations in pursuit of happiness. New starts, high hopes for the children. They leave behind places, later generations, faces blank with the unknown loss of them. Leave places of the dead with no mourners, sunny and peaceful now. Go east for a new beginning, adventure and rebirth in exotic lands. My daddy swam in the South China Sea, amongst junks and dreams and secrets. I went on a journey and found that the past is gone. The dead cannot explain themselves, and the world rolls relentlessly on in willful disregard of making sense of itself. I found the American dream will always be dreamt, especially by me. The world needs a land of opportunity. I went on a journey and found a child left behind by a move, a fish swimming upstream again and again, back to the source, a man nursing a fire on a beach with black flames, spirits crossing each other, circles overlapping like stones thrown into the sea, the grey Aberystwyth Sea at sunset. One for broken hearts, one for broken dreams, one for every petty forgetfulness, one for every life-wrecking fuck-up, and one to mark the end.